Okay, so I just about finished this, and if I told you it only took 2 minutes, I would be lying. Okay, I made a cash flow thing where we put things together, all right, with the union function and the index match function. And the only thing I wanted to tell you is something that I learned by accident. I didn't know how my own union function would really work. Sometimes the accounts seem to go in the wrong place. Now what you can do here is what I did is I just put a lot of blanks, and the union function ignores the blanks, but it seems to correct the ordering of the accounts. So for some reason, if you have accounts payable up with accounts receivable, or if you have operating assets mixed up with financing assets or income adjustments, you can just put spaces in where you created the data from, kind of put them in separate sections. I guess I could have done it even better, but that corrects the ordering of the account, something I've had a problem with and worried about, and thought I have to change the function. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is just save this file. Save this as number 2, and I think it's important to leave the originals there because it's extremely possible, well, probably not for you, but for me, that I made some mistakes, and I might have to go back there. And so what I saved it, and now I'm just going to copy and paste special as values. Nothing very interesting. Alt ESV. Okay, and then let's just do a little bit of preliminary analysis on this, and then I'm going to open another file that does some more. See, I did it wrong because I should have done it also with this one. Okay, and let's sort this first. You just can go to delete Alt DS and make sure you press options. I didn't know this at one time. Okay, and then you can sort by the row number 1. So we'll just put the things in order, and if we just have a little bit of, if we look at the gross profit on the company, you can see how it dramatically came down. Okay, in fact, I'm going to pause this for just a minute. I'm going to make an index function, and I'm going to look at the very, very first thing I'm curious about, which is the return on invested capital. And let's see if we can get that from here. So just a minute. I'm not going to have you watch me do a couple of these calculations. Okay, I'm going to end this video now, but I computed a very simple net operating profit. Now, all I did was take our gross profit, didn't subtract the research, subtracted the marketing expenses, not the research and development or any of the other stuff. So the net operating income or loss I have is slightly different than this one because I didn't account for all of the goodwill related charges, and we could make all sorts of adjustments. Now, they didn't report the consolidated equity. They only reported the net equity, so this isn't quite right. And they reported all this cash they had on their balance sheet. The cash 2009 went up to 1 billion compared to debt of 400 million and equity, so they had an enormous amount of cash at one time. And the most interesting statistic here is when you compute the net operating profit with those kind of simple adjustments. I hope I did it right. All I did was took the gross profit minus the marketing expense and said, okay, there's not really much there besides that. And suddenly we get the real story of what happened. I don't have my generic macros open. Okay, doesn't matter. And then a simplistic kind of return invested capital, and then we get a return on invested capital that was so enormous here typical for the solar industry. My God. And then, uh-oh, suddenly it went down, and there's nothing they really could do to get it back. And when you start investing a whole lot, like 1.5 billion, and you're only earning a return on capital of a negative amount, you're going to go bankrupt. Period. Full stop. We can get all the fancy, talk about anything fancy we want, but there we have a nice little summary of son Edison. Now, I'm going to do a little more on this. Okay, I'm not finished, but I'm finished with this video.